Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. Here, going to be doing another garage review this time of this little beauty, which is the M4A2E4. I say little. Well, there's the Chinukai. There's the EZ4. I mean, here's the 5/4, and this isn't the sleekest thing in the world or in the game, but well. They're like basically the same. There's the Panzer IV, there's the EZ4. I mean, well, there's the Panzer IV Hydro even. I mean, there's the standard Panzer IV. There's, yeah, okay. So it's a big tank, as you can tell. But this is one of the tanks. Well, this is the other tank that came in the Steam Pioneer bundle, which is this, which comes with the Panzer IV Hydrostat, the EZ4 Sherman. 3,950 gold, 7 days of premium, and 2,200,000 credits, which I thought was a pretty good deal. I mean, you get a bunch of credits, you get a ton of gold, 7 days premium, plus 2 really rare tanks. I mean, it's a steal, really. So, for 2 really rare tanks, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. So, here is the EZ4 Sherman. It really does feel, when you're in battle, like a proper American tank. Like, it feels big, it feels American when you're driving this tank. But let's have a look at it. 29% protection, 33% firepower, 39% shot effectiveness, 48% maneuverability. So it's not really outstanding in any areas, really. It's no good or bad in any real areas, apart from maybe shot effectiveness due to the gun, but we'll look at the gun later. So it's got 720 HP, 64 frontal hull, 38 sides and rears, 76 50-50 on the turret. So 76mm turret, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, this gun mantlet can soak up some shots. I mean, it's one of those weird American gun mantlets which are sort of very thick. Plus the turret's slightly sloped around, so I mean you can have problems with the turret, I suppose, if you keep waggling it as well. So yeah, 76 50-50. Front of the hull 64, isn't it? Yep, 64 38 38. So I mean, angling it like that, sort of, you get a pretty good effectiveness here. I mean, you can side scrape buildings, you can get ricochets off of your side. But 38 sides and rear, flat on. I mean, this is just a huge flat surface that anyone can really penetrate. I mean, 38 side armor. Let's have a look at the Chinukai, its gun. 38 high explosive. I mean, the Chinukai with high explosive could penetrate the side of this tank flat on. I mean, yeah, it's not likely to, you know. A Hetzer with the 105 could easily penetrate and do full damage to one of these things from the side. I mean, the sidearm really is a joke, but I mean, from the side, ricochets, auto bounces will occur if you angle it like so, due to the fact that the flat sides, while side on, they don't offer much protection. They're very good at angling. So I mean, you can angle this tank. I mean, the front of the hull is frontally on, isn't that great, but then look at that sloping. That's some pretty nice sloping right there. I mean, that's some nice sloping, plus if you angle it as well, you'll get extra angling. So I mean, you get 90-100mm off of this thing. So I mean, the armor, whilst not being completely as thick as you would like it, is still very good armor. I mean, the Panther, well, the 5/4, that's got 85mm of frontal hull, but then, you know, that's still sloped at tier 5. I mean, that's amazing. This armor is trollish at tier 5. I mean, it's amazing. But yeah, so the turret armor is sort of odd, but the frontal hull is pretty solid. I mean, let's have a look at the maneuverability. It gets a General Motors 6046 engine, 420 horsepower, smoking weed every day. So 420 engine power, 15% chance of fire and impact. As for the actual maneuverability, it's a 32-ton tank with a 420 horsepower engine. It feels sluggish accelerating. 52 km per hour top speed is pretty nice. I mean, that's decent enough top speed. That's fairly fast, but as to how quickly you can reach that, it's going to be pretty slow because this tank does feel pretty sluggish. 37 degrees per second of hull traverse with a 39 degrees per second turret traverse. So the hull traverse is meh, it's alright. It's not great, but then again it's not that bad either, it's sort of average. And again the turret traverse, it's alright. It's perhaps a little bit on the slow side, but I mean it's alright. And a note on the 720 HP, I mean the 5/4 gets 700 HP, the Panzer Hydro gets 750. What does this get? 720, so I mean Panzer IV, that gets 710, so it's sort of fairly standard tier 5 medium tank HP, so it's not outstanding there either. So I mean, so far it's looking like a pretty average tank. But so there's the turret, 39 degrees per second, 240 meters view range. I mean that's fairly standard. Low limit of 33.3 tons, 37 degrees per second traverse speed. I mean, meh. Not outstanding, but then again, not particularly bad either. But now we come to the gun, which is distinctly pretty bad. It does get an 8.22 rate of fire rounds per minute, which is alright. However, the average pen is only 92 with 127 APCR, 20 high explosive. So I mean, that's where it lacks. I mean 92, or sorry, 92. Average pen with AP isn't great for a tier 5 medium. I mean the Panzer IV, I mean I'm using the 5/4 as an example here, but I mean all the Panzer IVs get the same gun. I mean yeah, but the gun on the 5/4, the Hydro, and the Panzer IV all have got 110 average penetration, with the Chinukai having 124. So I mean, this is a fairly standard medium tank gun. It's a very good medium tank gun, in fact. However, the Panzer IVs, yeah, there's a reason why you see lots of people with howitzers on Panzer IVs, because 110 average pen isn't. Yeah, I mean, it's alright, but for a tier 5 medium, compared to what everyone else has, tier 5 mediums, I mean, let's have a look. Tier 5. Tier 5, here we go, medium tank. I mean, this is going to have the same guns. I mean, the Germans all have got the same gun, but let's have a look at America. America, you've got the Sherman. There you go, M4. What does the M4 get? I mean, this gets a 76mm gun with 128 pen. Let's have a look at Russia. What does Russia get? T-34. I mean, it gets a Matilda 4, but T-34. T-34 with the 57 gets 112 pen. Or 125 with the 76. I mean, let's have a look at Britain. Britain's got the Matilda Black Prince, which gets 110. I mean, it's also got the Crusader, which gets 110 as well, yeah. So, I mean, Japan, you've got the Chino. I mean, the Chino gets 124 pen as well, so I mean, the Germans seem to have less pen for the medium tanks at tier 5 than is average. So if the German tanks with 110 pen isn't that great, I mean this is even worse. This is 92. This is terrible penetration. So yeah, penetration not great. However, average damage is pretty good, 160, and that's for sort of 160 is standard, 75, 76 millimeter damage. So I mean, yeah, 160 average damage is all right. 200 with high explosive, but then it's high explosive. You have 20mm of high explosive pen. That's not going to do anything. Dispersion is 0.43. That's pretty bad, but the aim time is all right. 2.1 seconds. That's below average or above average even. I don't know. Is it above or below? I don't know. It's below average in terms of 2.3 to 2.1, but then it's above average in but yeah. So I mean, fairly inaccurate with pretty bad pen isn't great. So, yeah, I mean, it's a fairly standard tank. I mean, it's not great in any areas, but then again, it's not bad in any areas either. So, I mean, it's sort of, so yeah, average tank. I mean, it's sort of average apart from the gun, which is pretty bad. But, I mean, other than that, it's sort of standard tank. As for the equipment, gun rammer, yeah, Improve vents as well, yeah, gone with them. Gun lane drive, you don't need it, 2.1 seconds is pretty good. Wet ammo rack, in case your ammo rack keeps getting damaged. Coated optics as well are always useful, as is toolbox. Toolbox is always useful, that 25% to repair speed. Spawn liner, you don't really need it. I mean, at tier 5, tier 4 you do see a fair amount of howitzers on things like the Panzer IV and also on the Hetzer, so I mean, but I don't really see the point in spawn liners on Blitz. Binos and camo nets you're not going to want because A, the gun is too inaccurate, and B, 92 penetration is not good enough for sniping unless you're using APCR. So don't bother with them. Enhanced torsion bar, class 3T suspension for 30% to suspension durability. You could do to stop your tracks being blown off, but other than that, I mean, it's not particularly barreling medium. I mean, it has got 52 km/h top speed, but then it does feel pretty slowish, to me at least. So, I mean, I'm just probably going to stick with those two. If not, maybe stick a toolbox on it, or maybe some coated optics, I don't know. But it holds 90 rounds, which is pretty good. You're going to spend a lot of those bouncing, probably. But, I mean, yeah, that'll get you through many a battle. As for provisions, you've got the standard fuel or the improved fuel for plus 3% or plus 10% to engine power and tire traverse, respectively, for either improved or standard. Activated automatically, permanent throughout the battle. Then you've got a can of cola or a case of cola for plus 3 or plus 10 crew mastery, respectively. Activated automatically, permanent throughout the battle. Then you have protective kit, plus 15% protection of crew from injuries. 10% speed and module repair, 20% fire protection, and 10% ammo rack and fuel tank durability. Once again, activated automatically, permanent throughout the battle. So, yeah, these are your provisions. Any World of Tanks player will know about these from either Blitz PC or console. So, I mean, everyone knows about these. I don't bother using them, but you might want to. As for consumables, anyone that's watched any of my Blitz reviews already will know what I'm about to say, but I have to say it every review for the benefit of those who this is their first review. So, you've got the standard repair kit first aid fire extinguisher for extinguishing, for automatically extinguishing fires, healing all crew members, or repairing all damaged modules. And they all have got a cooldown of 90 seconds and can be used and can have multiple uses per battle. Then you've got specialised ones, such as the engine power boost for plus 20% to engine power, 20% to engine power for a duration of 15 seconds with a 75-second cooldown. Once again, multiple uses per battle. Then you've got adrenaline for plus 20% to load speed, 10% chance of damaging enemy vehicle modules with a 15-second duration and a 75-second cooldown. Once again, multiple uses per battle. Now you could use these things. A fair amount of people do use these things, and I can see why they are pretty useful. But then I prefer to go with all three of these because of this thing. This thing is a multi-purpose restoration pack. It basically does all these three things rolled into one, so you can carry multiple of these. I don't know. But as you can see, it extinguishes all fire, repairs all modules, heals all crew, with a 90-second cooldown, multiple uses per battle. Now, the reason that I use all three of these instead of a couple of these and one of these is because, say you get your track destroyed out in the open. You're crossing the open, you suddenly get shot, your track gets destroyed, 3 people get spotted and they're all aiming on you. So you use your multi-purpose restoration pack to repair your track. Then 10 seconds later, you get set on fire. What do? Normally, with these 3 equipment loadouts, which is the repair, first aid and fire extinguisher, you could use the repair kit to repair your track and then the fire extinguisher to extinguish the fire. However, with this, and one of these, you've used this to repair your track, you now cannot put out the fire, because you have an 80+ second cooldown on this thing, because you've used it. So, you're going to keep burning, whereas if you'd had all 3 of these, yeah, sure, you'd have to sacrifice this and this. However, you can repair your track, and then when you get set on fire, you can automatically put out the fire. So, I mean, there's that. That's why I prefer to go with all 3 of these and not one of these. But then again, if you really like using these, then sure, go ahead and use these and have 1 or 2 of these. But yeah, I just prefer to have these, all 3 of these. It's just the way that I like to have it. So, as for the crew in Blitz works differently. You don't have individual crew members like a gunner, loader, etc. You do in game, but when you're in the garage, it's just counted as crew. And crew get trained dependent on the type of vehicle that they are. Since this is a medium tank, they're going to start training medium tank skills, and I will have to choose which skill to train. So I'm currently training smooth ride, which we all know what that does. Smooth turret reverse is snapshot, so we all know what that does. Mentor, we all know what that does. Penetration boost, penetration boost, I think we all know what that does. Provides a would-be 1% chance to score a hit with increased armor pen. I've trained it to level 2, so it's a 2% chance. But then you've also got Rage, which accelerates gun loading by 2% for the next shot after you destroy an enemy vehicle. So there's that. And so this being a medium tank, I'm training this thing because that's what I've been training already. But it's up to you as to how you want to. It's up to you as to how you want to train your medium tank crews. I can't say much for that on your behalf. That's up to you and personal preference. So let's just have a quick look at the camo, shall we? What have we got here? Inferno. Yeah, Inferno. Verdun Forest. I was actually pretty tempted to actually get Verdun Forest on this thing, but then I just thought this thing looked better on it. I don't know. Verdun Forest sort of suits this tank, but I just thought, meh, I think this suits it. I mean, Verdun Forest looks alright on this tank. It's one of the few tanks I think it actually works on. But I mean, yeah. What else we got? Oh, uneven boulder. That looks alright. Looks alright. I don't know, Inferno, meh. Verdun Forest, yeah. I might put Verdun Forest on this for the winter, who knows. I don't know, do I want to stick with my winter or not? I don't know, they all look pretty good on this tank, to be honest. But anyway, in summary, this tank is a average, to be honest. It's a pretty average tank, to be honest. I mean, it's a rare tank at that, definitely. I mean, you barely see any of these in any game of World of Tanks, whether it's on PC console or now in Blitz. But then Blitz, they've only just been introduced, so I suppose you can leave it a little bit. But I mean, other than the fact that this is a rare tank, there's no real reason to get this over something like the standard Sherman. I mean, sure, the standard Sherman's got those weird, because it's an M4A1 version of the Sherman, it's got those sort of weird curving in things, which makes it more difficult to angle things because it's a more sort of rounded and sloped, unlike the British Sherman 3 if we were on PC. But I mean, this tank is pretty average. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's fast enough. It doesn't have the best acceleration, but it does accelerate. I mean, it doesn't have fantastic armor, but it at least has good armor. I mean, it doesn't have outstanding view range, but it's pretty standard view range. I mean, it doesn't have the greatest turret reverse, but then again, it doesn't have the worst either. It doesn't have the quickest chassis to reverse speed, but then again, it doesn't have the worst either. It's just a sort of standard tank. I mean, it's a reliable tank. It'll get you through the battle. I mean, other than the gun, this is a solid average medium tank. I mean, if you like average medium tanks, then this is certainly one for you. I mean, it's very big and American feeling, but it'll get the job done. So, yeah, that's all that I have to say on the EZ4 Sherman. So, yeah, I'll thank you for watching, and goodbye.